Welcome back. Alright, last video we made a log that continuously sits here, gets destroyed and then respawns, and now we want to make that a little bit more interesting. So there's a few ways that you can go about this, so I'm going to show you one, and this is probably give you the best idea to start with. Alright, so for a start what we're going to do is just somewhere here we want to add a part into our workspace. Now this is going to be a well, this will be a log, and we'll call it spawn part. All right, or just log spawn will be fine. And what we want to do is to scale this down a little bit, and it doesn't need to be particularly big, so like this. And we'll come down here. We do want to anchor it, and we want to turn off can collide. And now normally I would make this completely invisible, however we're just going to make it half invisible so that you can see what's going on. Otherwise you could just turn it off and it would make it look like the logs were coming from different places. Alright, so now that we've got one of those, let's make a model of this. So we'll group it. Right, and then we want to say let's make 5. So 2, 3, 4, 5. That's just Command D, and I can move these 5 into different spots. So we'll move one over there, and you can put them wherever you like. Let's say we go over here. All right. So. We're still missing one, are we? No. Alright, so we've got 5 there. Alright, and we'll call this log spawn model, just to hold them all together in case you want to move them around the group. You could also just put these in a folder if you like, but yeah, we'll just use a model in this case. Alright, so now that we've got our spawn points that are sitting there, the first log in this case, okay, is just going to be where it is. But after it's destroyed, we're then going to make it use one of these other 5. So how do we do that? Well, if we come back into our main script where we are spawning this log, okay, we're making a clone of it, so we can also give it other pieces of information. So down here, we're going to make a table out of this model, what's inside this model. All right, so local, and we'll call this we'll call it spawn point, SP for spawn point. We'll log spawn. Okay, log spawn table. So to make this into a table, we will find it in the workspace. So workspace.logspawnModel, and then we want to get children. Remember, if we put a colon, get children, and it will gather up all of these into a table. All right, and the table should have 5 items in it because that's how many is in here. So we now know if there's 5 items in this table, and if we wanted to find out, we could, all right, using hashtag to find out the count of a table, which we can do that. Okay, so local, okay, num of spawns. So imagine if you had in here, I don't know, 150, 200 different places you wanted things to spawn. If you wanted to do it this way, then counting them up individually would be difficult. So what we can do is we can use hashtag, okay, log spawn table, and that will return us a count of how many things are inside this table. So once we've got that, what we want is to create a random spawn, which will be a number between 1 and whatever this number is. So we'll say local random, or just rand spawn, equals math dot random and then we can put in the range in here. So like I said, we want a number between 1 and the number of spawns. And now this might return a decimal number, which we don't want. We want this to be rounded. So we will use math.floor and just put everything there inside of this. That way it won't return a random number. Okay. So that should give us one number between of one of these in here. And then what we need to do is get its position. So down here where we've got our new log, we're going to make new log dot position, all right, equals, now this only works with parts, by the way. You could use C-frames. Well, actually we might use C-frames in this case. All right, so we'll go part dot C-frame. All right, so that's a position in the world, equals random spawn dot C-frame. Now we'll see how this works. It may bury it in the floor, but we'll see if we can get this to work. So let's test this and just see what happens when we run it and see if we get any errors, etc. There's something I haven't thought of, and there is. Okay, attempt to index number with C-frame. So let's stop that there. Oh, I see what I did. My apologies. I did. I put this in here, random spawn C-frame. All right. So that's not what we want. What we want is the log spawn table up here and the index of where it is. So log spawn table. And inside, so when we put a bracket like this, this says this is a table, and I want you to grab whatever is at index 1, 2, 3, whatever it is, and that is what this will become. All right. So new log. So we want log spawn table. All right, and we want to put in the random spawn number. Okay, which will get us one of these. Right, and then we want its C-frame. We'll see if that works. We may need to turn it into a variable first. Nope, there it goes. And as I said, it's buried in the spawn point. We'll fix that in a second. All right, and if I run over that one, well, it's probably picked the same one again. And it may have picked the same one again. So maybe we'll, while we're testing, oh, I see what's happening now. All right, the reason that it worked with a random number to start with, but because it only is running when it changes, we need to put move it from here and put it in here so the random number gets generated each time. All right, so let's just try that again, and then I'll show you how to raise it, the log up when it's not sitting right. All right, so there it is. It's gone to that one there, and now if I run over here, there it is. It's gone down to here, and all right, and that time nothing happened. Okay, and it just stayed there. Okay, but that is definitely working. The other thing that you could do if you really wanted to, so that you didn't get repeat things, is delete each spawn point as you went around, so that you'd always get a different one with a small game like this. Okay, so that is working. The last thing we'll do before we finish this video is just show you how to raise this. So the C-frame of the spawn point, which is sitting on the ground, we want the log to sit a little bit higher than that. So what we do is we can say plus, and then we'll add a position to it. So it's a vector 3, okay, dot new, and the only thing that we want to change is the Y number, which is the one that goes up and down. So the others will stay as 0, and we want to add on, let's say 5, that might be a bit too much, and nothing to the Z. So let's try that again, and if you just pay attention, you'll see that the new log, when it spawns, well, that's way too high, okay? So, but that's the idea. So let's change that to not 5. Let's just change it to say 0.5. Right. And we'll run over that one, and there we go. That looks about right, okay? And you could play around with that if it was required. All right, so we've got our random spawn points working. We will see you in the next video, and we'll have a look at creating a win GUI. So I'll see you in the next video.